Welcome to the channel. This is just, I like to put out there some movies that I think are very good for people's consideration. This is a movie that I recommend. It's called 12 Angry Men. Um, Very good movie, very good movie. And it's from 1957, so it's black and white. You'll have to put up with that. But it shows what happens when a really good script and good actors are let loose on that script. Um, yeah, it's very good. Um, the story is about a court case. There's a young man who's been charged with the murder of his own father. um, he's given a public defender who totally screws up. So the court case is open or over with very quickly, and the jury um, goes into the jury room to deliberate. Basically, most people in this jury room think he's guilty, and they just want to get out of there. So there's that kind of tension. The room itself is part of it's almost a character in the movie in that it's in the summertime, in the sweltering heat. There's no air conditioning back then in public buildings like this, so they rely on a fan that doesn't work. So people are hot and aggravated and um, just miserable in this jury room. But the cast, you have Henry Fonda playing juror number 8. They don't really too much go with people's names and maybe until the end. But he's the only one that is hesitant to convict the young boy because he just feels, because there will be the death penalty involved in this, that some extra consideration should be, because everybody seems to be in a rush just to get out of there and convict the boy. He isn't sure about it. He wants to be sure because it is such a serious thing. And so he basically, when they take their first vote, they need 12 out of 12 to say guilty so that they can get out of there and issue a verdict of guilty. He says not guilty. He's not even 100% sure that the boy is not guilty. He just wants some consideration from the other jurors. He wants them to spend some time thinking it through so that they are absolutely 100% sure, which they're supposed to be. But as you can see in the movie, there's a lot of people that just don't want to be there and want to get the hell out. So he's basically the stumbling block for them getting out. So Lee J. Cobb, who's a fantastic actor, jury number 3, his problem is that him and his son are estranged. So he's putting all his anger at his son not wanting to speak to him anymore on this kid that has been charged. Um, Martin Balson, again, another great actor. He has juror number 1. He's the lead of the juror. He doesn't get too much to do except for trying to run the jury. John Fiedler, again, more of a character actor, maybe not so well known, but you probably see him in a lot of older movies. He's juror number 2. Uh, he again does not have too much to do, other than he seems to flip back and forth. E.G. Marshall, again, another well known actor from this time period, very good actor. Juror number 4, he's a um, broker or something like that, works in the financial markets, very buttoned down, very sure of himself, and everything like that. So he's one of the people that have to be overcome if they're going to acquit this guy. But he's very, very hard to uh, determine that he's wrong. Jack Klugman, again, well known actor. He's juror number 5. His thing is that he comes from the same area as the boy and understands the boy, so can actually give some background to what he's maybe going through. Edward Binns, another well-known actor from that time period. Juror number 6 doesn't do too much in the show. More of a supporting character. Jack Warden, again, juror number 7, well-known actor from this time period. He's trying to get out of there because he's got baseball tickets and he doesn't want to miss the game. So he basically is just whatever, just get us out of here. Joseph Sweeney plays an elderly juror, and he was the only person that kind of gives Henry Fonda's character any support. Ed Begley, um, well-known actor from this time. His son Ed Begley Jr. is a well-known actor from in the '90s and stuff. Um, but he's a bigot, so he's always those people, these people, those people. You know them. They're like this. They're that. Because the kid is, I think he's Italian or something like that. As if that's something big, but he's just a bigot, and that's why he thinks the kid is uh, guilty. Um, George Rostvek, don't know him. Juror 11, he's basically an immigrant, and so he understands the immigrant part of it. He doesn't like getting pushed around by the other people. Robert Wetter, he's again another fairly well-known actor from this time period. He's an advertising executive, and he's not taking anything serious. Um, but yeah, and then there's some other guards and stuff that don't really matter in the case. But yeah, it's basically the conflict between Henry Ford and Lee J. Cobb. The scene, they've had a big blow up. They said that the kid said, "I'm going to kill you," and Henry Ford calmly says, "Well, what person has not said that to another person? You say that all the time." He provokes Cobb, and Cobb comes out and, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." And then everybody sort of, "Well, I didn't mean it." Well, there you go. The kid didn't mean it either. But this is where they're talking about how exactly the kid would have stabbed his father. So they're just doing a little demonstration, but the tension between the two men is fantastic. And Lee J. Cobb is showing how a shorter person could stab a taller person. So there's this. Nobody knows right now whether he's going to actually stab Henry Fonda because they were at each other's throats a couple of minutes or seconds ago in the scene, and this is why everybody suddenly jumps up because they're concerned. But Henry Fonda's character is just like, we're just working this out. Don't worry about it. So he remains calm through most of it. But what happens in it is because Henry Fonda is blocking it. He goes through every piece of evidence that was introduced by the district attorney, and with the help of other jurors, he goes through where he sees a flaw in it. So back here, there was the knife here. So one of the things in the movie and the prosecution's case is that the kid used this knife to kill his father, and this is a special knife, and they're not available anywhere, and the boy had to search it out, and the boy had been seen buying one of these, and then Henry Fonda walked a block away from the courthouse, went into some shitty little store, and bought exactly the same knife. So this is how the movie progresses, that he's able to he goes through and battles their prejudice, battles their assumptions, battles their um, to try to save the boy. Lee J. Cobb, again, he's reflecting all the anguish he feels over his son not wanting to talk to him, and he's blaming the boy. E.G. Marshall is this cool, collected financier, and he thinks he knows everything. He starts talking about some of the um, some of the testimony, like one, the boy couldn't remember what movie he was at. He says he was at a movie when his father was stabbed. He was questioned by the police fairly aggressively, and he couldn't remember the movie until a couple of days later. They're all claiming that he was coached by his attorney, even though they all agree that his court-appointed attorney wasn't very good. So Henry Fonda basically starts asking E.G. Marshall what he did yesterday and in great detail, and past about a day he can't remember what he did. So he has to admit that fact, but then he's talking about a witness and who saw the boy do it, and then the older juror basically notices that E.G. Marshall takes his glasses off and he sees the marks on his nose from these uh, this part of a glasses where it just helps it sit on your nose, and you usually get a bit of a indentation if you've been wearing glasses for a long period. And you notice this older gentleman that's on the jury noticed that the woman that was giving testimony went into court without glasses, and they thought she was vain. That's why she was trying to hide the fact she needed glasses. And they asked E.G. Marshall, "Do you wear your glasses to bed?" He's like, has to admit no. So then, how could this woman laying in bed look over out the window and see who was actually stabbing the man when she probably didn't have her glasses on, because nobody sleeps with their glasses on? So again, we get people trying to get home, people trying to rush things, and Henry Fonda being the roadblock. And he gradually, piece by piece, turns the jurors to his side. Um, Jack Klugman here, again, he came from the same part of the city as the boy. Lee J. Cobb is showing how he thinks the knife would be handled, but Jack Klugman's character says nobody in his area would ever stab somebody that way. That's not how you use a switchblade. He shows people how you use it, which is in an underhand. Um, the older gentleman back here, he starts thinking through things, and he helps actually Henry Fonda. He's the first person that turns to Henry Fonda, but eventually Henry Fonda, through logic and patience, um, manages to basically overturn every piece of evidence that these men are convinced is correct, and going to send this kid um, to the chair. So they have a number of votes throughout the movie, and to acquit him or guilty or not guilty. And gradually you see the numbers falling away from the guilty side towards the not guilty side, as Henry Fonda is able to convince people the opposite way. And you can see kind of in this scene that all these people have moved over to Henry's, figuratively or literally moved over to Henry Fonda's side of the argument, which is not guilty, leaving just Lee J. Cobb left. So this is a lot of, and there he is going on and on about his son and this and that, and sort of convincing people that maybe he's not thinking logically about this, just it's too emotional to him. But again, this is a bit about when he provokes him and he says he's going to kill him, which again comes down to what was one of the things in the court trial, is they said that they heard the son say he was going to kill his father, who would regularly beat him. Um, and again, Henry Fonda is able to sort of turn jurors away, but it's good. There's a lot of tension in it. Um, yeah, it's really like this movie. So if you're looking for, it's available on some of the streaming services. I just actually saw it on regular cable TV a couple of nights ago, and that's why it triggered me to put a recommendation in, because it is a good movie, well acted, very tense, and just shows you what you can do with very little. You don't need all these special effects and everything. Everything is done in one room, the jury room, with these 12 men shoved into a small, hot, stinking probably jury room, and just let good actors go and you see what you get. And this is a good movie. I recommend it. Thanks.